listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Alan Cochrane, and we have a special guest. Holly Walsh is with us today. You can text the show on 8 to 12:15, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show directly through the Absolute Radio website. So welcome, Holly. I should say that Emily has lost her voice. Can you imagine her seething with rage?
I actually
silently.
can't think of a person that would be more upset by that affliction.
No. So Emily, I don't imagine you'll be up this early, but if should you ever hear this, we love you and get well soon. But we love you too, Holly.
Well,
yes. It's very nice to...
I mean, I'm gutted that Emily's not here, but it's nice to hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, just, friend of the show and all that. I was, let me throw this in early. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who said that someone had told him that he was too nice for his own good. That's what they said. And he said it's like it's a weird sort of unsettling thing to say, isn't it? And I thought, I don't think anyone's ever said that.
What was the context of it?
Well, I didn't quite understand.
Was it a lady? Was it like this guy didn't have much luck with the ladies? And
No, I think it was a business associate had said to him he was too nice for his own good. But I don't mean that people have never said to me that I'm not nice, but I think they think I measure my niceness quite accurately. There's no overlap.
Yeah, your gauge is bang on.
You've balanced good against niceness, and you've got a pretty spot on.
Well,
balance.
I think that I'm like a carpet fitter. I cut my niceness exactly for the gap and then put it in there. There's no overlap. You don't have to trim my niceness. So anyone who's listening in who's too nice for their own good, listen to me. Add a little bit of gittishness.
A smattering.
Just a smattering. Yeah, that's all. So I've been up north this week.
Oh, how was that?
It's a bit colder.
Do you think?
It is a bit colder. You live up there. It's true, yeah, but you think that's
it's
like
not
a
in
myth.
Manchester, though. Manchester's got a sort of a strange kind of...
Well, it was in Blackburn, and that's quite near, isn't it?
It's Greater Manchester, yeah, but I'm sort of sheltered by the Pennines. It's nice. It's nice where I am.
You're sheltered by the Pennine. Can I say,
it's genuinely not
as
cold.
he says that, he's wearing like a fair old jumper and he has a thick beard. He looks like a man who is literally sheltered by the Pennines in his lean-to in some small foresting area.
I haven't found it cold up north yet this year.
Really?
No, not at all.
But you have an adjusted thermostat, though.
I definitely do, yeah.
That's just talk.
That's all I can do on radio.
No, but I mean...
If I mimed that, it would not have worked.
If I knew that was true, we have photos and all sorts on this show.
I've got an adjusted thermostat.
Yeah, well, I actually wore a singlet.
Is that like a gilet?
A gilet is a furry thing, isn't it?
It's like a body warmer, isn't it?
Yeah.
A gilet.
It's a vest, a singlet.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
So
like
zip-up
a vest.
no, there was no zip on it.
Undershirt and suits, was it?
Undershirt, yeah, I thought undershirt and suit would be better than over.
Yeah.
Like some sort of...
I'm trying to explain to Holly because she seemed to think it was an outer garment.
Yeah,
No, it's not like a middle-aged superhero. I wore my vest over my suit. That would have been... It was an interesting experience, which I'll tell you about in a bit.
Frank
Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Yeah, so the vest. I can't remember really wearing a vest since I've been dressing myself.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you wear then?
If I'm really cold.
Yeah, between skin and shirt.
Nothing. Air.
A bit early.
Sometimes I'll wear a t-shirt. Yeah, sometimes I'll leave on the pyjama jacket if it's a really cold day.
Pyjama jacket?
Yeah. What would you call it?
Well, I mean, I like the idea that you've got a fully tailored
Three-piece pyjama
Three-piece.
suit.
I have got a pyjama waistcoat. You never get pyjama pyjama waistcoats. Why not for the cold weather?
There's a lot of gaps in the market, isn't there?
A pyjama cummerbund.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's what I could have worn a waistcoat, I suppose.
Yeah, got a three-piece.
But it's such a statement. Anyway, I wore a vest, and there's all sorts of pluses which I hadn't really. To be honest, I've left it off today because I thought I'm back in London, and I'm missing it a bit. You know, when you do that,
isn't it? It's like being held.
Well, I'm not very. I don't really feel it.
Oh,
I'm a scrawny character, and I don't know if they're supposed to be loose-fitting vests. You know when you see Bruce Willis in a vest, it's stretched to the limit. I look like Gandhi in a white carrier bag. If you can imagine that.
Too much for everyone to think about.
Yeah.
I have several vests, and I would say the bigger ones aren't as comforting as... you maybe drop a size and just feel like you are being given a gentle cuddle by an undergarment.
I'll try that. I don't know if I've got the figure for it. You're a very fine figure of a man, what with your martial arts.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
But I think I look like I'm being bandaged.
I'm not talking about appearance, I'm talking about feel.
No.
You can't see it anyway.
Shirt,
you're not going to see it. No one's going to see it.
You see Bruce Willis's all the time.
Unless you're going to walk around the house in it like Marlon Brando or something. Like,
yeah.
Don't do
Paul
that.
Newman, I always think of in a white vest.
I think you should get one slightly too long for you.
I think this one is a bit long.
Yeah.
You have to keep hitching it up. Yeah, but I tell you there's two brilliant things I'd never really thought about with the vest. One is I've basically worn it all week. Because once it settles, it's quite a long way away from your armpits.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get any of that damage that, like, a T-shirt gets. The armpits are they're a difficult
The
area.
producer looks as if she may be physically sick at the discussion
I'm going to say
of your
this,
armpits
though.
now.
I don't have particularly big rotation when it comes to bras. Like, I'll wear a bra for a few days.
But does a bra reach the armpit? It doesn't, does it?
No, the same reason.
So that's it. So why does it how does your bra get dirty? Unless you dribble a lot. What dirt is a bra? That's this morning's texting. What dirt is a bra? Yeah. The other thing I've noticed, it's great. When you put a T-shirt on, it sort of often messes your hair up a bit. A vest, you can take it on and off with a coiffeured bouffant.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any difference.
You have to take it off in the sort of cross over your arms, either side. That's how models take off vests.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just, like, pull it up over your top.
Now I'm going to have to think about... I think what I do is I roll it at the chest, and then I take my arms out, and then I bring it off.
Least sexy.
Yes, exactly.
Strategies.
I always try to take the least sexy option. I find myself there naturally.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
Okay.
Someone just texted in to say that
kidding
you
me?
looked
What?
hunky.
I looked hunky.
A woman called Jill says you looked hunky on the podcast image.
Oh, okay.
Hunky. That is an old
I've
school.
never... You see, you wear a vest for 1 week.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Game changer.
Have you
Yeah.
kissed your guns yet?
I might have. What are they?
Your
It's when you do
Biceps?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You give it an old.
That's what people do.
When you did that in that jumper, it looked like you just felled a tree and you were
Yeah.
celebrating.
That's the look I'm going for. Recently
A
felt
lumberjack.
tree look. Yeah.
No, I
Smug
haven't.
lumberjack.
I haven't kissed my...
Smug. I wasn't
Could I
acting
kiss my gun? Hold on, I'm going to...
Yep.
You're not supposed to use tongues.
Oh, well, I just felt they were really giving me the glad eye.
Keep it daytime, yeah.
Turned out it was a mole. Oh, what about if you really got into like snogging your biceps?
I mean, what if?
Could you kiss your tricep? That'd be difficult. Oh, careful.
Probably need to be a bit double
Careful, if that beard gets enmeshed in that knitwear. I had a parcel arrive today. I was very, very excited to open it, and a little parcel, bit of a treat, getting on near to Christmas. I opened it, and it was beard oil.
Yeah.
Not oil for your beard, but oil that's been extracted from beards that you use for cooking.
Yeah.
A bit like olive oil. Apparently there's a shortage of olives this year because of the olive blight.
That's right.
And so people are extracting it from facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
I found it a bit... it needed an extra filtering. No, it was for the cockerel. Can you believe that?
Send me some beard oil.
But why didn't they send it to you? I was misled.
Yeah. It is a shame that it said Frank Skinner on the box, so you got excited thinking you were getting something. But
Yeah,
it also said beard oil on the box, so...
I didn't see that, read that bit. I felt there was a hint that I should apply it.
Grow a beard.
No, I meant to you.
Oh.
Well, why send it to me? Like I should... You know when people stand behind someone and start doing the massage thing?
Yeah.
There's some things that creepy men do at work.
Yes.
If I just stood behind you and you unexpected and suddenly started massaging your beard with oil...
I think I've been less comfortable with the tone of a show since joining this one. This is interesting.
Well, that
New
wouldn't...
development.
That would just show how close we feel to each other. That wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, okay.
I'm speaking of co-presenters on this show. I'm currently on tour with Gareth Richards, who used to be in your seat.
Used to be in the cockerel seat.
No one sent him beard oil. There's a good reason for that. He didn't have a beard, but I was with him in Sheffield this week, and he said to me, "I'll show you something interesting." And I thought, well, I love a bit of local colour, and it was a place called Paradise Square, and Gareth had visited it before, and there was a plaque there where John Wesley had preached. This is the sort of thing Gareth points out. And it was, we stood and looked at that for a bit.
Right.
But, yeah, this is what touring is like. Forget those books about Led Zeppelin and stuff. It's mainly plaques of the great preachers. But... the plaque said, John Wesley preached here on blah blah, and gave the date, and he said, and then it was a quote from him, and it was the biggest congregation I ever saw on a weekday. And I thought, if I'd have took that quote, I'd have left off on a weekday. It's a slightly, do you know what I mean? It slightly undercuts it. I mean, I suppose Sunday's the big day for them. But it did make me think... Manic Street Preachers.
Yeah.
What is that name about? Is there a street called Manic Street where people preach?
Oh.
Or are they people who preach in the street who are manic? How would you read it, Holly? If you had to guess which one of those it was. Yeah, we'll come back to you.
I know, it's
you know when you know that bit you're on about talking and radio?
Yeah, but the thing is, you're asking me a big question. You can't expect me to rush into that.
Well, let me put it this way. If it's Manic Street, if that's the name of the street where the people preach, then when everyone says Manic Street Preachers, that's how you say the name of the band, isn't it? So that's right. If it's about people who preach in the street...
like Manic Street parking restrictions?
Yes, exactly. Right. But, if they'd called it that, it wouldn't have been a terrible name. I'd have been okay with that, unless they went on with all the hours and all that after it in the title of the band. But perhaps all the album titles could be different qualifications on the parking times. Anyway, but if it's about street preachers who are manic, we should pronounce it Manic Street Preachers.
Yeah, it's the emphasis on World Cup.
I'm looking to you people there'll be people out there who are fans of the Manic Street Preachers.
And it's a music station. So
it's a music station. Let me know what the answer is to that.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I think we might have a Manic Street answer.
There's a few people have said a very similar thing. They've said, someone texted in and said, James Dean Bradfield bust in Cardiff, and the homeless people used to call him the Manic Street Preacher, as in preaching manically on the street. Yeah,
so it should be Manic Street Preachers. That's what we should call them. We've been stressing them wrongly for years, because we say the Manic Street Preachers, and you'd never say, "Oh, I saw this Manic Street preacher in the road today." You would, though. You wouldn't. Exactly how I'd say it. You wouldn't say it like that. I would. I'd say it exactly just you say. What? I mean, I know what you mean. You mean don't emphasise the street. No, you do. You might. No, you need to emphasise the street if it's a street preacher. We emphasise the manic. We say manic. What do we say? Manic street preachers. You'd never say, "I saw a manic street preacher shouting in the street today," would you? Well, yeah, I think I would. I think I'd think wouldn't. Manic is the bit that's interesting in it.
Manic. Do we even call them a manic?
He's not good on language. I've had this problem before with Descartes.
Oh yeah, that was awkward. I consider that a foreign language though, so that's different.
Well, you know, we're all God's chillin'.
I don't have French.
Don't forget we're all God's chillin'.
I'm not chilling. I've got my jumper on.
Is that like business? Chillin'.
It's like I'm going to heaven. You know,
right.
I'm going to heaven. That one. It's not actually. I mean, you know.
It's pronounced I'm going to heaven.
It depends whether there's a place called the Gwain, which leads to heaven. Anyway, I think I'm right about the Manic Street Preachers. We've all been wrong forever, and the stress needs to be changed.
It's like take that. Is take that.
Yeah.
Not take that.
Well, there's only 3 of them now, the poor soul. Have you seen the pictures of them now? Just 3 of them. They were wearing matching shirts. It looked like there was just one of them.
They were wearing matching shirts at their age?
Yeah, I know.
That's unlike a boy band.
Yeah, but they're a man band now,
three men now. Yeah. Take that. Don't take any more. That's all I'm saying. Actually, it's all right to take them all.
Take that.
Take them.
Take that.
Take that.
Take them to an unmarked spot. Hold them until the tax is repaid. That's what they should have done. Ransom. People don't think things through anymore. It's a strange show. I'm glad you came, Holly.
Isn't that one of their songs? I'm glad you came.
Yeah, and I thought It's a Strange Show is one of their... No, they wouldn't dare call it that.
It's a strange show.
It's a strange show. See, if it featured somebody called Strange, it would be It's a Strange Show. Yeah. Yeah, think about it.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Have you ever been to the Royal Armoury in Leeds?
No.
I think I might have. What happens there? Is there a lot of armour there?
Yeah, there's there's lots of arms.
Yeah.
There's, it goes...
Did you kiss some guns?
If I could have got that, there's plenty of guns there, I must say.
Yeah.
There was, it's right, there's helmets from ancient Greece, like the real thing.
Yes.
Right up to your modern day street murderers. The manic street murderers.
Oh, yeah. They sound good.
And, yeah, it's... I'll tell you what, and then there's... In one corner, there's a tiny room, and it's about peace.
No.
It's like they've said, of course, but give peace a chat. And
Give peace a corner.
Yeah, and... nobody puts peace in the corner. That's what I think Gandhi said. Second reference this morning.
He's getting a lot of airtime.
Yeah.
Doing well. And not only that, I was in... I think it's in Blackburn. They have a station, at the railway station, they have a big mural of local famous people, including Gandhi.
He was from Blackburn?
It turns out he's from Blackburn.
Who knew?
Yeah. He eschewed the clog for the sandal.
Did he?
He was a rebel. No, he visited
rebel
there.
Without a clog.
Yeah, he visited there once, and so he gets to be on the mural at the station. He's next to Wayne Hemingway.
Is he?
Is he the guy from Red or Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne Hemingway. Yeah, not Gandhi.
No.
Just because I was talking about shoes. Is Red or Dead a shoe shop?
They do shoes,
once upon a
everything.
time. Yeah.
Do they still exist?
I don't know.
Wayne Hemingway does,
that could be another texting.
Respect to him. He looks a bit like Gandhi as well. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they had Alf Garnett.
Gandhi,
Heston Blumenthal, Harry Hill.
They had an artist with a very...
He just did the one face.
Yeah.
He's a bloke who did those iron filings things that you used to get where you used to make the bald man a bit hairy. But it's an interesting place, I must say. The peace bit, not so interesting, because peace, although it's a wonderful thing, is not as spiky and shiny as warfare is.
No, it's got less interesting weapons, hasn't it? Peace.
But I tell you what I always do now, if I go to any place of interest like that, I always have a really good look round, and then I go to the shop, and they'll have like a postcard or a model of something in there that I've missed.
Oh, yeah.
And I get really anxious that I've missed something that's good enough to qualify for merchandise.
What did you miss in the armoury?
I think it was just a particular flintlock I like the look of. So what I'm going to start doing, I'm thinking, is going to the gift shop first and working out what the big merch hits are, and then seeking them out.
Basically, the gift shop is your greatest hits.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go back through the sort of album.
It's a sort of a
tracks.
guide. You know that sort of thing on, is it on Amazon, where people who bought this also bought. I'm going to do that in the gift shop. If it's on a postcard, it's got to be worth seeing. If it doesn't make, the merch, it's filler.
That's a great...
One thing I hate is armoury filler.
If anything, you want killer, not filler, when it comes to armoury.
Killer, not filler would be a good title for an album.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it, if it was a greatest hits album?
Or Killer Not Thriller, if you wanted to do a Michael Jackson tribute.
Yeah, or if you didn't like it. Okay. The other thing I found that I really like doing, if I go to a place of interest, is afterwards saying... Because, there was three of us went, and then we split up and looked around on our own. And it's finding a really interesting thing that you've got a pretty good idea they haven't seen. And saying, did you see that? Brilliant. And they go, oh, no, I didn't. And then that's great. I love that. I really feel like I've done something special with my life.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
I was in a motorway services this week.
Get you. What a week.
And there's a place... Now, what do you make of this? There was a poster... And posters, Holly. Didn't you win Best Poster in Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fabulous. So I'll go to you.
Out of all posters ever.
Wow. That's pretty biggie.
Including that one of the Wonder Bra one that got all the press.
All the cars crashing.
Yeah, mine was actually better than that.
But if you look closely at that, it's filthy, that Wonder Bra.
She's worn it for 5 days
She's
on
had
the
it on
trot.
I'd say she's had it on a month.
We've had no text in saying what makes a bra dirty, thankfully.
No, I hope they know I'm talking about hygiene and not what makes a bra dirty. I mean, from a moral point of view.
Sort of leery, gentle.
Yeah, exactly. When it's just a garment, it's just a support garment, so what's dirty about it? I'm not making that point. Anyway, so it was a shop that sold various foodstuffs that you could eat at.
This isn't going to be another KFC chicken dinner trial.
No,
Are you describing a supermarket?
It was that you eat hot food at.
Well, a restaurant.
Well, but motorway services, they're sort of very open, and it's like a booth.
I love the way you're explaining motorway services to people who probably regularly go.
Well, we don't know that, do we? Don't know if our listeners travel. So anyway, there was a poster, and it had a big... You'll like this, Alex. It's a big drawing of a chicken.
Good.
Right?
I'm already on board.
Like a sort of a fully,
Are you saying that because I've got an appetite, or because I'm known as the cockerel? because you're known as the cockerel with the thing on the head, and what's it called? The wattle or something? Is it called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's called that, but anyway. And this is what now I don't remember. This is not word for word, but this is damn close. I wrote this down. I was so taken aback. It says, this illustration is decorative. It does not represent the actual product. So you could get chicken and chips, and there was a drawing of a chicken, and they felt the need to say that wasn't what you actually... You don't get a whole chicken with the feathers. It's not like a voodoo threats themed food thing. What is that about? Is that fear of being sued? Because someone said, oh, the drawing on there is like a big strident chicken, with all the feathers on and stuff, and look at this.
Yeah.
What do you think, Holly?
I was just thinking that I was in America last week, and they had all these...
You couldn't wait to bring that up.
What are their service stations like?
They are amazing.
Do they have, open plan booths?
Actually, they don't have that many service stations.
Really?
Yeah. They have... You drive off and there's an entire sort of shopping centre.
Oh.
But every time you go into a restaurant, there's a huge... Most restaurants have a big sign that says, we sell products that may cause cancer, various diseases, and we're just stating this basically in case you sue them in 5 years' time, and you say, I used to eat your chips or fries, as they call them, all the time, and now I have terrible disease. It's all a disclaimer.
Wow.
The dangerous products to get them in. The lost leader. Terrible, isn't it? But it's not true here, isn't it? Who's going to go to a motorway services? I think it was somewhere like, Kiel. Who's going to go there and think this chicken doesn't look like that? I'll take this to the Court of European right. No one in England sues anybody. I blame entry lawyers for you.
Yeah.
Right.
They've given this idea now it's all right to be in court, getting your rights.
Sounds like Gandhi again.
3. That's 3 references.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cochrane, and Holly Walsh is with us this morning. Text the show on 81215. We haven't had many texts this morning. I suppose I've been very closed.
We have actually just had...
You're not reading them out? Okay.
We just had one from 2.
Hold on, tell me now. I'm in the midst of doing that reading out thing I have to do.
Put it on hold.
Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. You were saying, Alan?
We've had a text in, Frank, from Nina, 215. White bras get dirty due to body lotion, especially in summer when you have a tan. So there you go.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. But that's white bras.
Yeah,
they all get dirty.
I don't wear white bras for that reason.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't, because
you get another 2 or 3 days if you wear
because it is dirt. It's not less dirty than a white
but it
bra.
doesn't show up.
Yeah, but that's not the point, is it? What about the bacteria? If you thought about that.
We've also had a text from 710. Hi Frank, Alun and Holly. Am I getting old because I put a cardie in my shopping trolley the other day just in case it turned out cold? I'm only a young 52 but still worried, as only sensible people would think of taking a cardie out with them. I used to freeze in my teens, my mother screaming put a cardie on when I went out in December in skimpy tops, and now I'm my own mother, scared, frightened and other related words in the thesaurus. Thesaurus, there you go.
Well, I don't think 52 is young.
But no, he or she has said she is a young 52, so she could be 2 or 3 days into 52.
Oh, I see. Is that what you mean, do you think?
She might be young at heart.
I see, even though I'm older than her, I think, like, when I hear people say, you know, he's a young bloke, he's only like 31, I think that's not young. Young is, you know, like 20...
Yeah.
3 tops.
That is young.
Don't kid yourselves. I've learned to accept it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all change with age. Take, for example, Andy Murray, the top flight tennis player, who finally
did it.
Yeah, has got engaged.
It's exciting, isn't it?
I'm love
thrilled.
To. Aren't you a little bit thrilled?
Yeah.
I mean,
I will get invited to the wedding.
Do you think
I will
you
go.
are?
Yeah. You know how like when Elton John has a party and he just invites loads of famous people to the party. Mm-hmm. I hope that if they have a similar wedding, you know, they sell it to Hello or OK, and I get to be page boy.
Yeah. Is that? Do you know the Murray stroke Sears?
No,
clan?
but
that seems unlikely. But you know,
Sears.
Murray Sears.
Nice.
Sounds like a racing driver.
Yeah, I'm interested that he's they've been together 9 years.
9 years, I think. Yeah.
Is it because he's trying to avoid a second service? Because I really like the idea that he got married and it failed. I don't like the idea of that. But then he got married again, so it was his second service, and it was a much lesser, like it was a registry office thing, because it's the second. Yeah, just made it a bit safer. The whole thing. So we weren't doing it for that.
Does anyone know any reason why these two should not be married? And someone just shouts, "Net."
Yeah, and that's because he's been seeing a woman called Annette. That nobody knows about. Go on, carry on.
I like the fact that the paper's made quite a big deal of he proposed to Kim Sears with a diamond ring he chose himself. Instead of he's just been walking in the streets and gone, oh, there's a ring, oh, I should probably propose. But he actually actively chose it.
I must admit, I'd probably say, I'd send my PA to get one, probably.
And you think he might have done that?
Well,
You'd send your PA to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't suppose she could actually take part in the ceremony, but yeah.
So Frank's got Frank's on tour, but he does have a Saturday free for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're scheduling in a wedding.
He's going to shoot straight off to do Christmas kitchen. but we can fit it in that. No, it's. I didn't know that they'd had a fashionable split. You know, it's very fashionable now for audiences to split up. Audiences. Sorry, that was. Now I have a friend who's a Freudian who I've mentioned before who says there are no slips of the tongue; they all mean something.
Really?
So when I think of love, I think of audiences. Clearly, rather than that's a sad sign, isn't it? Someone's just brought a sign in with a child crying on it, just pointing it out as they went past. That was quite a sad one. Sorry, Ollie.
It was the idea of an audience splitting when you were sort of 11, and then you've never really recovered.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to see half the audience every other weekend.
And I don't like the other half of the audience they've got with now.
Yeah. I've got a step audience.
Yeah, it's got a much younger audience that my original audience is now hanging around with, and they don't like a lot of my stuff. You know what I mean? They want stuff about the internet.
The other audience is a young 52.
Oh, look, I hope there'll be more than that if it's half the audience.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So with Andy Murray, apparently they split up because of his obsession with video games.
Yes.
Do you know that?
No.
That is... Do you think it's on that old tennis game that you used to play? No. I love the idea of him thinking the other one's Federer.
You can't turn it off. He's obsessed with it.
Yeah, what a weird thing, though.
It's hearteningly normal, though, isn't it? Because I think he was...
Angry Bird.
He was probably...
That's what I called his mother.
He was probably in his 20s then, like, quite young, or maybe even younger than that. It's like kind of normal, isn't it?
It's a weird thing to split up over, isn't it?
Well,
video games.
I'd say video games has in many ways saved my marriage.
Really?
Yeah, because over Christmas, when my husband comes to my family's house, he just plays Football Manager about 14 hours a day. And everybody's fine with it. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to join in.
Does he play with anyone?
No. It's a very. I mean, he plays.
Any of your family?
No. Football Manager is a very.
With it?
Everyone's just like let him do it.
Wow.
Is he not popular?
It's like he doesn't speak the same language as all of us, so we just talk to each other, and he just sits in the corner and plays Football Manager.
No, the language he speaks, I imagine, he's like, well, I'm over the moon. It's a game of two halves.
It was an audience of two halves.
It's a turkey of two halves. Do they not think he's a little bit unsociable?
No, I think people are I think Christmas is overrated as a family event. I think as long as you're all in the same room together. That's why everybody watches TV. Christmas. It's just, you know, all you want to do is be near each other. You don't have to hang out, really.
We just play riddles. In our family, put the telly off, and, you know, my first is in fish, but not in boat.
You play riddles?
No, not really.
Oh, I totally believe that.
I like the idea of the family who riddles together.
A family who riddles together.
The only rhyme I can think of.
Riddles? Yeah.
Well, I can only think of piddles, I'll be absolutely honest with you. I tried to fight saying it, but you pushed me into it.
I did it, sorry.
And, I like the idea of the telly off and family doing something verbal. But even on the telly, you talk. I mean, unless it's like, you know, Doctor Who or I'm on.
Yeah, it is a bit like...
But,
what's I'm on? Oh, you're on.
I'm on. Yeah, I'm on isn't a new series that everyone loves. It's a very popular show in our house. Shut up! I'm on. But you must have a very tolerant family. Do you think the minute the door closes behind you, they say, well, what about him again, eh? All he did was play that stupid game.
She did well. That's what I say.
Do they?
As long as he does well in the league, no one minds.
He did well. You know, her husband's the league winner.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. He took Crystal Palace to the top of Championship.
So when he goes back to work and people say, have a nice Christmas, he'll say, well, you know, Europa Cup place. Wasn't too bad.
That's all right.
Wow,
I learnt a very interesting lesson about myself this week.
Go on.
I went to the hairdressers on Monday, and it was a new hairdresser. I was having my hair washed. And I get involved when somebody is washing my hair in a hairdresser's. I can't help it.
Verbally?
No.
You stick your hands in.
Yeah.
Hands-wise. I've got quite small hands, and these two...
You reach up and...
I reach up and start, massaging my scalp.
You're kidding me?
Aren't you under a drape thing? Do you actually...
I get out of...
You free yourself out of the straitjacket and you're in.
I thought that was normal. My old hairdresser was fine about it, and my new hairdresser
He had a nice easy job.
My new hairdresser said, "That's weird what you're doing."
That is because you're paying them to wash your hair.
I don't like it. I don't like the control. I don't like giving them the control of the lather.
See, I quite like the fact that you get involved because it's a bit of moral support. I'm teased in my marriage because I got...
I thought you meant in the hairdressers. That's normal.
They tease me with a bit of
like Mr. Teasy Weezy Raymond.
Indeed. I got my first ever massage in Thailand with my wife.
And time for the advert.
No, hang on, I haven't. It's not that rude, honestly. But my wife was in the next bit, and I didn't realise that it's uncommon to make noises of appreciation. So I was going, "Oh yeah, that's good."
You didn't say, "Oh baby."
That wasn't being massaged in the character of Frank Spencer.
Who says "ooh, baby"?
But she said,
I did that
don't do that. You don't say... I was thinking for moral encouragement, they want to be like... They know, like, oh yeah, he's really enjoyed this.
Yeah. Oh,
Apparently
no.
not.
No, I do that when I'm trying on clothes in the shop. In the... Whoa.
Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
I'll tell you what I wanted to ask you, Holly, as a married person. And you're married as well, Al.
I am a married person, yeah.
Reading about...
No relation.
Reading about... No. I'm not suggesting you're married to each other. That'd be great. That was how I revealed it on the show.
There's a lot of us about.
What a lot of people might not know is you're married to each other. And then, people at home saying, "Oh, God, I kept that quiet." Anyway, do you wear an engagement ring, Holly?
I wear an engagement ring and a wedding ring.
Yeah, when I was a youth, every married woman that I knew, and believe me, there were many, I was a milkman. Rubbish 1970s joke. They all wore eternity rings.
What's a maternity ring?
Eternity. Eternity.
What's an eternity ring?
An eternity ring.
We can't do grammar.
Yeah, it was what you used to get, I think, pre-engagement ring.
Wow.
And so if you look now at old ladies' wedding fingers, be they still contacted to them or in a glass case, you will see that there's almost always three rings: wedding, engagement and eternity. And the eternity ring has clearly gone wildly out of fashion, whereas in a way it was the biggest commitment of all, wasn't it? Because marriage is till death us do part. Eternity is never mind death, we're just going to keep going forever. So what happened to the eternity ring?
The mood ring took over.
Yeah.
People realised eternity's a long time. Let's just see how it goes.
Was
Let's
it
just see a mood ring, just gauge it day by day.
A mood ring's a bit more realistic, isn't it? It acknowledges some of the problems of marriage, the mood ring. It's more of a warning sign.
Just gives you a heads up.
Yeah, what you need is the mood ring, but wired around the house. So there's a stone in every wall so you can see when you get home from work.
Is this a good day to propose?
It's gone though, hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you think it's that in that time we've become more educated about what eternity really means? People are like...
I'd say we've become less educated about what eternity means. About that, you heard it here first on Absolute Radio.
Do you reckon people just read Dawkins and went, "Oh, I can't get an eternity ring, that is a long time"? Nope.
Do you know one thing I wonder is why people renew their vows? Because it's sort of like when someone says lifetime guarantee and then they'll be like, paid £10 to keep this lifetime guarantee.
Yeah, well, I was talking to a couple the other night in one of my gigs who had renewed their vows, and I was asking. I said, "You must feel that the battery's losing a bit of power.
Yeah, you've got to top it up
in order to have the urge to do that. You must think, well, those vows are a bit rocky.
The only people I can think of in the public eye that continually renewed their vows in a big party every year were Seal and
Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum, and
they split, didn't they?
They split about 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, it might not work long term to constantly renew your vows. That's just
what I didn't like about it is that Seal at the end of it used to go, and I thought, to me, that spoilt the specialness of it.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
I think we might have some news on the eternity ring
A few
front.
people have texted in to say an eternity ring you're supposed to get at the birth of your first child.
No, that is a maternity, or is that a paternity ring?
Some people are also saying after the first year of marriage, and then there's a few people saying that they give their eternity ring after the birth of after the wedding, which was after the birth of the children. Different order these days.
It's the modern world.
I think it's once you get over buyer's remorse. I think once you've done the marriage, you've regretted it for a bit, and then you feel okay about it. That's when you get the old. Get down to Elizabeth Duke.
This is getting a bit more personal than I was anticipating.
When do you get a party ring?
Oh, good question.
What about marry in haste, repent at leisure? That's one of my favourite proverbs ever. The idea of repenting at leisure. You just get yourself nice and settled, put your feet up, then you repent. Yeah. Massively. Well, they've faded away.
Yeah.
It's all right for Kim Murray, though. She'll soon be.
Well, it says
Kim Murray.
Kim
Murray. That's what they should do at the Kim Murray. Kim Murray. Kim. That should be the song at the wedding.
I thought it was somewhat naive in the article of the Daily Mail. It says the proposal puts an end to years of speculation about the couple's future, and I thought, I bet it doesn't. All it does is just change the speculation, innit? Like, as soon as they're married, there'll be loads of articles going,
what's going on with their marriage?
Yeah, when they're going to have a baby, when are they going to divorce? It's just naive.
You're quite right. Naive from the halfway line. That's what it is. So,
some football commentary for a long time.
What else, Holly? What else has been going on in your crazy life?
I have started I've started going back to the gym.
You're wag. Like, you're still a wag if you're married to a football manager.
I think you're a wag if you're married or going out with someone and a woman, full stop.
Oh, really?
Wife and girlfriend. It doesn't specify sports person.
It's not specific to sports.
I thought you were a gym person anyway. A bit of a gym bunny.
Do you work out?
I do like going to the gym, but I've started going to this class every week. It's at Tuesday lunchtime, and there's this guy in it who's sort of made friends with the gym instructor.
What kind of class are we talking?
It's called Body Blast.
Body Blast.
Yeah. You blast your body.
I like the sound of it. Body. What is it though?
It's aerobics. It's aerobics. It's
really?
just aerobics.
It's not aerobics.
Jumping around on the spot.
My mum used to go to Keep Fit.
Yes, Keep Fit.
Is it the modern Keep Fit?
It's modern. It's modern.
We live in a more aggressive society.
It's not modern aerobics. It's absolutely from the 1980s.
But it's called Body Blast. I mean,
it's called Body Blast.
Yeah, I'm doing calisthenics.
Yeah.
With Indian clubs, me in like white trousers and a white vest.
Nice.
Wowee! I really thought that had gone.
What, aerobics?
Yeah.
Well, it's back. It's back with a blast.
Well, it is as well, literally. Well, I want to hear more about this. We'll come back in a sec.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Holly, you're doing aerobics.
So I was at the aerobics Body Blast, and I think this happens in a lot of classes I've been to, but I really noticed it this week. There's always someone who hasn't sort of got in with the aerobics instructor and is now their kind of new best friend. And like so for example, like at Halloween, this guy came dressed as like a witch. And
to an aerobics
and everyone's like, what a card. And then he sort of he'll like high five the aerobics instructor, or he'll sing along to all the songs. And I just realised those people who make friends with aerobics instructors are officially the most annoying people I've ever seen in my life. You shouldn't do that.
I
It's
must
wrong.
admit, I've never thought of them as a category before. First, because I thought aerobics had gone, but I didn't know people befriended the teacher like that.
They
He
just get in
sounds
there,
like Timmy
they're
Mallet.
Yes, yeah, that's right. They're like teachers' pets.
It reminds me, like, back in the West Midlands, you used to get blokes who, not just blokes, all women, who would stand at the front for the whole journey talking to the driver.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a mate of the driver, so I don't need to sit down, I'll just chat to him.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But they sing along and they really get into it, and when they like feel the burn, they share it with everyone.
I think you can
I'm
use...
feeling the burn.
Huh?
They say I'm feeling the burn.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can
to the
use
But
that.
they say I'm feeling the blast. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
It's,
the aerobics.
it's not body burn.
Yeah.
Body.
Yeah, what you don't want that.
Yeah.
I went to Nick Griffin used to do a little from the BMP did a class called Book Burn.
Yeah.
I used to go to. No, not really. Isn't this a chance for you to get a bit of solidarity with the other members of the group in a sort of
we
us and them? Have you
We
got
have,
that?
Yeah, us and those two.
Yeah, the Timmy Mallets of this world, they're very good for us and them work.
Yes.
Because then you got something to talk about
Divide
to the
and
other
conquer.
ones.
But you see, the thing is that it's not a team sport, aerobics, though. There's no... you don't really talk to the people. You go in, you do it, you leave, then you get to the dressing room and you take your clothes off and you don't make eye contact because
Take
you're
your witch's
naked.
outfit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw the cape on the floor.
You filthy old bra. What about if next Halloween you all get together and buy a docking stool? When he turns up in there. What they used to test if witches were real or not. They used to put them under the water, and then you can get your own back on this man. I'm going to name him. I can't. I don't know his name, but I'm playing this just for him.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cochrane and Holly Walsh. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. We haven't had much contact this morning, have we?
We have a bit. You do sometimes say that when we've read them. You sometimes think, we haven't, but we have.
Maybe I'm
Read
full.
No,
Don't laugh at me, 'cause
Don't say
I'm
that.
a fool. Yes, actually, why did I say that? Where were we? Holly, are we still at your
we were doing
aerobics class with
keep
I'm
your...
telling you about the
body
most
blast.
annoying people I've ever seen in my life.
High-fiving the instructor sounds ridiculous.
I've never even seen the blokes with the bus driver do that.
I do like it when two bus drivers stop the buses when they're on opposite sides of the road and have a chat. Have you seen that?
I don't mind that, you see, because they're colleagues. But
Yeah,
this
I
person
think
at the
that's
front, what
nice.
right have they got to ride on the
that person is a
platform?
punter, and the person
Yeah,
is a instructor.
Sit down.
When they high-five the instructor, is it during the routines?
Yeah.
Is it when they're saying, like,
And,
do your star jumps?
this guy
they're
added
suddenly
extra
bouncing up?
flourishes to everything. Like, he's done it so many times. He's like, I'm building on this.
Take it a bit further.
Yeah, and he,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how annoying. Similarly annoying people are people who laugh at jokes at the theatre. People who...
Even if they're funny jokes.
Like, not funny jokes. They're never funny jokes in the theatre. They're
I
just
thought-
comparatively funny compared to how boring the rest of the play is.
I used to think that until I was in a West End play, and then I grew to love those people.
Yeah. Well, you know who those people are? They would have high-fived you if you'd done a lunge near them.
If I did a lunge near them, I think they might have to get me on a drip if I might high-fiving me. It would have been almost certainly accidental. Those
Wet
slippery
leaves.
floors.
Accidental lunge does sound like an album.
Yeah, or a band.
Yeah.
I went and saw an accidental lunge at Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
they used to be Take That?
Yeah, they did. Take that. Their new album called 3. That's what it's called. Which I believe is how many pennies in the pound they pay tax. And so you were saying have you been on holiday or have you been working in the United
I
States?
went to work for a bit.
Really?
And,
Gigging?
Yeah, I did a gig.
Have you broken America?
Wow.
It looks a bit broken. That jaggedy bit down by you.
The corner.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you go to break
An
America,
accidental
though?
lunge.
Be honest.
I went to break it.
Any
I didn't even dent it.
Oh, well, you don't do it on your you don't do it on your first go. Herman's Hermits, I think it was third tour.
Was
really?
it?
I'm guessing.
They are hermits.
They are hermits. That's the trouble.
Couldn't go near anyone.
Exactly. People didn't even know they'd been there.
Their problem was communication between tours, wasn't it?
They did it in caves.
Herman, he got out and about, but he's hermits, obviously.
Yeah.
They were very stay at home. So was it good, though? I'm interested.
It was really good. It was really fun. And then, in the airport on the way back, I bumped into someone from school in LA.
In LA?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just thought that's so weird. You just can't, you just meeting that. I mean, we had this unfortunate thing of there was a sort of delay and we had to wait around for 3 hours in the airport. So we caught up for the first 10 minutes and then we had to really drag out the next 2 hour and 15-minute conversation.
When had you last seen this person?
At school.
So you had plenty to talk about, surely. Hello?
Well, there's a reason why I last saw them at school.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, right.
I know, he was a nice guy.
But that is exciting. I remember when I bumped into Daisy in Edinburgh unexpectedly. That was in Edinburgh. Daisy, who I see every week. Just seeing someone that when you haven't planned it and they turn up. I think it's brilliant. What about when I got to Heathrow and two of my nieces were there in Bieber memorabilia waiting for him to arrive?
Is that true?
Yeah, they'd been there since 11 o'clock the previous night. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, just waiting for Bieber.
I don't always like it, the bumping into people, out of context bumping into people.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I was once in a swimming pool with my family and a guy who works in a kitchen at one of the comedy clubs I play in swam up and went, "Hello, Alan." Oh, I'm not out of context in here.
I know, I don't want people in swimwear. Who I've only seen in other things, but generally...
I've seen him in Chef White. He swam up to me.
Oh. Did he have that little check swimming trunks on?
He had a waterproof chef's hat.
Just wore a waterproof chef's hat, like the ones you see on chickens' legs.
Yes.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I met a member of my management company, sort of a kind of a senior figure at my management company. We were both waiting for our girlfriend. Well, I was waiting for my...
The same woman.
No.
Awkward.
Well, I hope not, because it was in... they were trying on clothes in a shop. And I sat down. She went into a booth to try on clothes. And then I realised he was sitting opposite me. There was leather armchairs for the partners.
Oh, right.
What made it awkward is that it was agent provocateur.
Oh, that was awful.
That is embarrassing.
So it was a kind of I don't know. Suddenly it felt perfectly fine to me before, but suddenly it felt I couldn't look him in the eye.
Two lechy men waiting for their ladies to come out.
That's what it felt like.
But you know what the women were thinking? How many days can I get out of this? Without washing it.
Exactly.
If I just sprayed it with a bit of deodorant, that's another 3 days.
Yeah, well, respect to them for that. But I found it a strange thing. I felt like I'd let myself down, let him down, and let all our readers down.
We've had a text saying, can we add in people who clap at the end of a film in the cinema? I hate that. We seem to be doing a texting of what do you hate? People that high-five aerobics instructors.
I don't mind people applauding at the end of a film.
Really?
Really?
Oh, no, that is irritating.
I remember the first time I saw Jaws, when the shark got blown up. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Everybody went, whee! Really massive cheer. And I thought that was great. It was just relief.
Yeah.
And then they did it also at the end of Play Misty for me when the woman dies.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Is it re-released?
I don't think so.
Can we mention anything that happens in any film or book or television programme nowadays without being falling into spoiler territory?
You know which is the best one for that? The Bible.
Yeah.
If you said what happened at the end, it wouldn't ruin anything that happened in the previous 45 chapters.
What
Is
on
there
earth?
45?
Depends.
I don't know,
what you
I'm
say.
not sure. But if you go, and in the end, some horsemen come down and the whole world gets eaten by locusts, that's actually not going to ruin the plot
I
of
didn't
the rest
know
of
that.
it.
I might read that now. It sounds all right.
The thing to do is to mislead them and say, yeah, he dies in the end. And when they get to that bit, and they say, oh, it's all the end's ruined now. And then he comes back, and don't tell them that bit. That's using spoilers as entertainment.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We asked for texting about people that we find annoying, like high-fiving aerobics teachers, etc. And 034 has texted, people who applaud when a plane is landed. It's like celebrating a bus driver at each stop. That's a valid point.
I bet that bloke who stands at the front probably does that. I don't mind that as well. There isn't enough
Really?
applause in life.
For you.
For me.
There is in yours. You're on tour.
There was a
Yeah.
pathetic moment in, I think I was in Doncaster, and there was a massive storm, and I thought it was applause, and it was rain on the roof.
Oh, no. And then someone said, Frank, it's just a sound check. And you drifted off into some kind of, like,
That's awful.
rapturous applause. Were you bowing? And they went, it's just the rain on the roof.
The first time I went on a plane, actually, was to Italy, and it was struck by lightning. And they applauded, and I just thought they'd applauded because we hadn't all perished.
Uh-huh.
But then I realised that I think in Italy it's quite the norm to applaud when they land.
Right.
I think it's fair enough.
Uh-huh.
If you've ever been on a flight simulator, it's a tricky job landing an aeroplane.
I haven't tried landing an aeroplane, but given how much you find reversing even your car a big
Nightmare.
you are meant to be able to drive it in both directions. You know, that is part of the
Well, it
responsibility.
was a
of the
later
drive.
development, I think, the reverse gear.
Anyway, we only talked last week about people pushing cars, didn't we? You got quite
Yeah.
nostalgic about people pushing cars.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I saw someone pushing a car. I
Cut
thought that had died out.
Like Fred
Cut to
Flintstone
this week.
style.
There's a story in the paper about a plane being pushed by 70 passengers because the gears had frozen up. Brilliant.
I think the brake pads, I think, had frozen.
Really? Brake pads shouldn't be...
They'd frozen.
Stop them taking
I think
off,
they'd
surely.
frozen onto the wheel, so the plane couldn't move. So they had to push the plane to sort of break the ice hold on the wheel. Is how it worked.
Really?
There was a photo of these because I thought, what do
I
you
watched
push?
the video of it.
What do you push when you push a plane? And they'd all got their arms up on the wings, and we're just pushing it like
Do
they
you
were
know,
launching a big glider.
I would have got 15 of the smaller people, gathered them around the brake pads.
Yeah. Bit of hot breath. That's what it needed.
That would have been great. If anyone just
Hot breath,
if
that's
anyone just tuned in then and got that, I think they got Absolute Love Nest, which is our new.
Yeah.
You know they're launching Absolute Love Nest.
It's a spin-off, innit? Yeah,
You know,
it's nice.
I don't know. I can't seem to catch up.
Lovely.
I watched the video of the 70 passengers pushing the plane and couldn't help but admire the guy who was filming it instead of doing his share of the pushing. Like, you guys go, I'm just going to...
Yeah.
And also, who gets their phone to work in minus 39 degrees?
Minus 52,
Was it
apparently.
minus 52?
That is.
Wow.
You know what that is? Cold. That's cold. You can't help saying it's hard to comment
I
on
didn't
it.
realise I was conversing with an expert, but yeah, you're right.
Well,
that
I
is
was in-
cold.
I think after minus 5, it doesn't matter. It's cold as cold after
Well, I was in Iceland with David Baddiel, and it was minus 28.
Mm-hmm.
And we did some outdoor bathing in the Blue Lagoon, which is a heated
that. Say that again.
The Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon. Why?
It's a bar in North London
it's
that
Blue
they
Lagoon.
frequent.
The Blue Legume. And it was 28 below, and as long as you got the water over your neck, you were warm because it was
Nice.
over your shoulders. So we were in there, and I could not resist that schoolboy thing of when we dashed back into the thing. Of course, I had to lock him outside for about 20 seconds. I just couldn't. It's utterly and
Excellent.
completely irresistible. So he was in hospital for, I think, 2 weeks.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We were talking about them Ukrainians, what pushed a plane. There you go.
Nice recap.
Thanks very much. Can you imagine that moment, though, when they got out there on the freezing cold and one of them looks at the other and says, "Right, comrades, push." It's ready, okay?
You're doing the plane.
Pardon?
You were doing the plane.
I did everything.
Excellent.
Drama, there isn't enough of it on this channel. I've said that once, I've said it I think 4 times.
It's afternoon play on Absolute Radio.
I'd love to do that. Shall we put that to them?
Why not?
Do you act?
Yeah, I do act.
Emily was a former
available.
child star.
What was she in?
I'm emerging.
Yeah, emerging talent.
Hold on, let me just... that's better. Not emerging anymore. She was in Day of the Triffids.
Was she?
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
It was impressive. It's a BBC sci-fi classic.
On the subject of them push starting the plane, I genuinely was hoping that it would then do a couple of laps of the thing whilst they all had to clamber aboard.
Well, when I first read it,
start cars.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
Yeah,
it was like the pilot might have been doing it with one foot in the cabin. And, you know, they see blokes pushing the car, like one hand on the wheel.
Yeah.
Do you think other people had to get out of other planes? Oh, come on, we'll just give him a push.
Yeah, exactly. We give this bloke a hand. I was on the bingo bus one night, which was that, you know, if you got a bus that was about 10:30, all the women came out the bingo, all got on the bus, and they were it was like sort of mega loose women. They were incredibly sort of shrieky and sort of
you mean like the
wild.
television programme Loose Women?
Yeah.
Right.
No, they weren't mega loose women.
They were mega loose women.
So they'd all get, and any bloke on there used to get, come and sit by me, darling. It was all that kind of thing. And this bloke, the doors were sticking on this bus, and this guy, I mean, he must have been, I think of him now as incredibly old. He's probably younger than me. Mm-hmm. But no, he must have been, I bet he was 65, and he pushed, he couldn't open the door. The doors didn't open automatically. And the driver said, "You got to push it! And the bloke went round the back of the bus and started vainly pushing at the back of this double-decker bus. Oh, when he got on, these women were like hysterical with laughter. This bloke sat there and it was like terrible torture, and he'd meant so well. Oh, dear. Anyway, he died.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We've got a couple of texts in that I would like to bring to your attention.
Thank you.
215 has texted, "Tree looks pathetic, going to get a bigger one, 3 exclamation marks and 3 kisses. And then 1 minute later, sorry Absolute, not meant for you, 3 exclamation marks." So
that's a quid. Quid have been made out of that mistake.
And it's nice that we're kept in the loop. I agree. I think that tree looks pathetic. You're doing the right thing.
I respect to this person, though. First of all, that they sent an apology for sending me, but also that I think once I've committed to a tree, even if it looked pathetic, I think, well, that's just it for this year. I'll get a bigger one next year. To actually go and upgrade.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mind you, he does have, or she does have, a month. I mean, they've gone in early. I think the reason why that tree looks pathetic is because it hasn't had its full growing cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah, it might
still got a month's more of growth
it's
in
like
it.
the suckling pig of the tree world, isn't it? Like you could have
We've got one coming. Got one coming this week. I think you want to get, once December's around, you want to get the tree.
You want to have a tree already?
Yeah, you got to get your money's worth.
That's the sort of thing that I meant to say.
Well, you don't want to spend a day dressing the damn thing. You don't want to be taking it down within a, you know what I mean?
My dad is
Merry
the
Christmas.
Same philosophy, different end of the spectrum. He will get it on December the 24th, about 5:30 in the evening. And he'll drive round the lay-bys of Buckinghamshire, where he lives, looking for the cheapest, most terribly damaged.
Brilliant.
That will be the one that he takes.
Put it up, take it down on the 27th.
Yeah.
Job done. Why not?
Firewood. Keep warm. Potpourri.
Well, I don't know why he
Strip
doesn't.
it down for parts.
If he gave it a couple of days, he could just get some discarded ones.
Yeah.
You know, like getting.
We have
Put it up
Christmas
on the
on
6th of
January the
January.
3rd,
Exactly.
where everything's
Like getting
cheaper.
your Easter eggs on like Easter Tuesday when they're half price. Not enough of that.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I did a gig in Wimbledon last night. Theatre, not the arena. No, it's covered. I had an idea. There was an empty box. You get like the Royal box. They hadn't sold those, so there was one at either side of the stage. So it strikes me as a very good place to sit. So I said, what a shame to not sell the box. This woman said, yeah, I'd like to go in the box. And I said, well, look, and there was like the way the lighting rig was, I reckoned you could climb it.
Oh dear.
Into the box.
Is this you just saying this hoping that a lawyer will come?
No, so I got this. I said, come on, I'll give you a leg up. I reckon I can get you up there.
Oh no.
So she was a big, not big in a fat woman, but
Steady.
a big as in like, she was probably like, in her heels, probably 6 foot.
And you're not one for manual labour, are you? It's
No, not with my back.
Not got any practice.
No, how dare you say that? But yes. And so she started clambering up. The audience were like aghast because she was like, statuesque. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean she was just tall. And so she started climbing, and this thing was a bit. I don't think it was meant to be climbed on.
No.
And suddenly a member of staff appeared in the box and said, "Stop! You have to stop now," like a guy in a waistcoat.
Oh dear.
Not a pyjama waistcoat. No, it wasn't him. He'd been sleeping in there. That's why I hadn't sold it. But so I thought it was a lovely moment. But I got her to say into the microphone when she just started climbing. I said, can I establish that this is your idea, not mine? And I'm not responsible. And she said, I take full responsibility. Would that have been legally binding?
Her.
I didn't say. I encouraged.
You gave her a leg up.
Well, I never actually came to that.
Really?
Yeah.
But you did make
in the end, it didn't feel
disclaimer.
Can I say
like
she had trousers on?
Yeah.
She had trousers on. It wasn't opportunism.
Good, I'm glad to hear it.
I actually checked before I offered to help her up whether she wore trousers.
She had trousers.
Yeah, because I didn't want anything sordid.
Yeah.
But it could have gone very wrong.
Well, in a way it did.
Well, it would have gone a lot wronger if she'd have fell and broke her back.
Is this the moment we're choosing to end the show?
Yeah, I like
morbid
to.
Fantasy.
Well, I'm leading into the adverts, the first one of which is Injury Lawyers for You. You know what? I think I might go back to the old ending. I'll never repeat. I never found anything anywhere near as good. So you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Holly, thank you so much for helping us out the last minute today. You've been fabulous as ever. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.